welcome to Coffee with Coach. Moving into the post-pandemic period seems like a terrible time to launch new programs. We are all just getting back on our feet. But the energy generated from developing and launching new programs can help your church recover quicker. The problem? Well, people are feeling very negative about life right now, and pastors are reluctant to move forward in the face of such negativism. How can we start something new? Stick around, and I'll tell you the 5 keys to planting new ideas and programs in your church. I'm Steve Petty, and I have 3 goals for these videos: to help you become a better pastor and leader, to save you time and money, and to help educate, motivate, and energize you so you can motivate and energize your church. If you find these videos helpful, I hope you will subscribe to my channel, and if you have questions or comments, you can add them below or email me at steve@revstevep.com. One of the most common complaints I hear from pastors is that their churches don't want to do anything new. I've listened to this complaint, and I often hear my own voice echoing down through the far reaches of my youth, sharing the same lament. I used to offer the wisdom that most churches are like large ships. They simply will not turn on a dime. You have to give them room to maneuver and allow some time. But then I went back to have a conversation with those ancient voices in my head. But Steve, you were always innovating, starting new projects, building churches, missions, programs. You may have complained, but you also found a way to do things. How did you do that? I had to give that some thought, and it forced me to change my paradigm. Yes, the ship still takes a long time to come around, but think instead of sailing ships, what is the secret of growing successful crops year after year? So today, I want to talk about planting the seeds of an idea so that it will take hold and grow into a viable new program. First, pick a good spot. If you are planting a seed you hoped would grow, it might be wise not to plant it where you park your car. Where is the sunshine? How is the soil? Is it well drained? Not all plants will thrive in the same soil or sunlight. Think about the plant you are growing. I'll give you a bad example. True story. When I was a student in seminary, I was hired to be the youth pastor at a church in a suburb just north of Denver, Colorado. We had a fun time with the youth. The group were growing well. But the pastor decided he wanted to be the next Robert Schuller, and he thought Schuller's idea of a drive-in church was perfect for his church. He would start worship in a local drive-in theater on Sunday mornings and would grow himself a new megachurch. So that fall, he kicked off his new church worship, standing on top of the concession stand, broadcasting into speakers, hanging in every car's window. Well, need I say, Denver has winter. Orange County, California does not. What works in one place might not work someplace else. Make sure the idea or seed you are planting is fully applicable in your setting. Don't spend a lot of energy starting a new youth group in a retirement community. Second, prepare the soil. Is your soil ready for planting? Is your congregation ready for this idea? If you know that they love to kill ideas, especially anything involving change, then you might need to spend some time preparing the soil. This can take time. Often I hear pastors lament that their idea got shot down so fast they decided not to do anything more with it. If you're convinced this is a program or a mission that will work in your situation, spend some time strategizing how to move it forward. Prepare the soil. Here's some ideas. Speak with your most ardent supporters, people who like you and like what you're doing, and seek their input for your idea. Do they like it? If they don't, find out why. Assuming they're open to it, what needs to be tweaked to make it more acceptable? Who needs to be brought on board? What is the best way to introduce the idea to the congregation? Can you drop sermon illustrations about this ministry being effective at other churches? Perhaps drop internet links into the church newsletter, pointing to other churches doing similar programs. Then you might build a team, a task force of people who are excited about the idea. Get their input, refine the idea, develop a comprehensive plan, and then think, Who is the ideal person to champion the plan before the whole congregation? When is the ideal time to launch the campaign? Give this some time. This planning stage can easily take 3 to 18 months of preparation before you are ready to present the idea. Third, plant the seed. Plant the seed with great enthusiasm and expect a positive response. Encourage more people to join your task force. When you have the ideal person to present it and you know this is the best time to move forward, then launch it. But also listen carefully to any criticism of the plan. After listening, allow the critics to make suggestions to improve the plan and make sure to incorporate some of those suggestions. Fourth, attend the plant. Water, fertilize, prune, etc. This is critical. I have a very dear friend who comes up with creative new ideas all the time. But as soon as a few people are on board and they're excited about this new plan, my friend gets another great idea and spends energy on the new one. This is tremendously negative for several reasons. One, the original idea loses all the energy and momentum that it took months to build, and the ideas always die. Congregational leaders find their energies are wasted and are very reluctant to get on board for future ideas. And finally, new ideas are met with skepticism, and even great ideas will fail to catch hold. Tend the plant. Water it. Nurture it. Protect it from frost. Keep it in the sunshine. Keep the congregation informed about each new exciting step, but follow it through all the way to fruition. Continue working with your task force to nurture and improve the plan, and keep the goal in mind. We want to harvest good fruit. And fifth, harvest only when ripe. This seems obvious, but it isn't. Those apples may look perfect, but if the sugar content isn't high enough, you will make awful pies. I see many pastors lose patience with the process and launch programs half-baked. That new contemporary service needs to get started and attract people, so your ad campaign is ready to go and you start marketing. But your band hasn't even practiced yet. Don't launch. Don't advertise. Never invite people to church until your program is wonderful. That means you've spent some time developing it, running it, everybody likes it, then advertise. I also see churches launch wonderful programs when they don't attract as many people as they want. They quickly let it go. Give it time. It takes a lot of word of mouth and a lot of marketing to get a new program off the ground. Keep the energy up and stay positive. When it finally starts to catch on, then do some marketing. It is really fun and tremendously rewarding to build something new and have great success. The key is to always plant your seeds wisely and well. Make sure it's the right spot. Prepare the soil. Plant the seed well, and tend and nurture the plant, and harvest it only when it's ripe. Well, that's it for this week. Next week, I'll be talking about illustrations, the key to a memorable sermon. I hope you found these ideas helpful. If you like these videos, please consider clicking on the subscribe button below. If you have a friend who might find these ideas helpful, would you please share with them? Feel free to use them in pastor discussion groups or with your key staff or your key leaders. And if questions or comments, send them to Steve at revstevep.com. See you next week on Coffee with Coach.